Welcome back to Let's Read the Bible. Let's jump back into Genesis chapter 6. Now it came about when men began to multiply on the face of the land, and the daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whoever they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, because he also is flesh. Nevertheless, his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward. When the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of his thoughts, of his heart, was only evil continually. The Lord was sorry that he made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. The Lord said, I will blot out man, whom I have created from the face of the land, from man to animals to creeping things, and to birds from the sky, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. These are the records of the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his time. Noah walked with God. Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in the sight of God, and the earth was filled with violence. God looked on the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way upon the earth. Then God said to Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. And behold, I am about to destroy them with the earth. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. You shall make the ark with rooms, and shall cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you shall make it. The length of the ark 300 cubits, its breadth 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and finish it to a cubit from the top, and set the door of the ark in the side of it. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. Behold, I am bringing a flood of water upon the earth, to destroy all flesh in which the breath of life, which is the breath of life. From under heaven, everything that is on the earth shall perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every kind into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, and of the animals after their kind, of every creeping thing of the ground after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. As for you, take for yourself some of all food, which is edible, and gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did according to all commanded him, so he did. And that concludes chapter 6. Okay, let's go inside the text. So in chapter 6, we've got our first mention of the Nephilim, or actually where we'll see in the notes, only 2 places they're ever referred to. The Nephilim, this is from a root meaning to fall, indicating that they were strong men who fell on others in the sense of overpowering them. The only other use of this term is later on in Numbers. They were already in the earth when the mighty men and men of renown were born. The fallen ones are not the offspring of the union. You also noticed in this that it's a man at this point is always continually got evil in his heart. This is one of the strongest and clearest statements about man's sinful nature. Sin begins in the thought life the people of Noah's day were exceedingly wicked from inside out. And there's other references of man being wicked throughout there. But he showed favor here. God had favor for Noah. At least one, it says, but Noah found favor. At least one believed that Noah was spared because of his good works alone. God makes it clear that Noah was a man who believed in God as a creator, sovereign, and the only savior from sin. He found grace for himself because he humbled himself and he sought it. Another test part of it was probably Noah was told to build this ark. This moves quickly through the timeline, but the size of the ark and what he requested being built, even with his sons, would have taken a considerable amount of time to do. And so in an evil world, Noah was probably ridiculed, ostracized. And that's typically the story we see in any stories that we've seen that have been made about Noah, that, Noah was making this ark because it was going to rain and flood the earth. And so assumably people thought Noah was crazy. So we've got God's anger at violence and man's sinful nature, to blot out and completely destroy the entirety of everything other than who he spared. God's holiness could not exist with sin. And at this point, it seems that it had grown so much that it was very displeasing to God. So that wraps up chapter 6.